What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Ask Sir Love. It's your boy, Sir Love. Wait a second. Hold on, everybody. Welcome back to Phase 6, your source for music, business, motivation, and support on Ask Sir Love. I'm doing another intro here, another conversation. And what we do is I answer questions that you guys leave in the comments. So please leave a question in the comment and I will try to get to it. So I'm going back in time here and capturing a lot of the older comments. And I got one from Jonathan. I think it's L. It could be Jonathan I. But Jonathan says, out of how many points do we get? How many? However many we decide. I guess he's asking the question. Hence the question mark. Also, for newer artists, this feels like a lot of stuff and points to be handing out that most of us just really don't have. Is there any way to more zone in on points? We don't have to externalize in someone else in the next video. Thanks. A little confused. When you guys leave comments, please try to, I know a lot of times I'm doing it from my phone. The phones are doing autocorrect and all sorts of things. But in order to give me the proper context to answer things correctly, I need you guys to, attempt to get it as right as possible. But no problems, Jonathan. Let's talk about it. And I also read Joseph Monterio's response, which is a pretty good response, so y'all can read that while I'm talking. To speak to it, let's go here. All right. If you are an independent artist, you are not signed to a label that has taken any points from you, because you could be independent, signed to an indie, still, whatever. But if you're not signed to anyone, there's no one taking any points from you, then you have 100 points on the project, and you have to allocate points to individuals. So if there are 100 points on a project, 100 just means 100%. Okay. And if you have 100 points on the project, you are going to define and decide how you give away points. Let me give you an example. Labels give away points. Labels may give points to the A&R that works the project. They may give points to they will give points to all the producers that work the project. They may give points to writers that work on the project. They will give points to the artist as well. And they may also have other people on their staff or their team that's getting points. This is basically commission. This is how they pay people for their work, right? Here is a bonus for what you put in, right? Typically, that comes with the idea that you're not getting everything that you're supposed to get up front, right? It could be an A&R that's not necessarily paid at the highest level that you like to be paid, but you're getting high points on a project, and you know that the more that project sells, the more it could be worth, right? A point is a percentage. If you think about a percentage, what's 1% of, if you did 50 cents project, you used A&R for 50 cents, Get Rich or Die Trying project, and it sold 10 million copies. And those 10 million copies, even though they didn't sell for $10, let's just say they sold for $10, right? You're easily looking at $100 million, right? You're looking at $100 million. And 1% of $100 million has you at $1 million, right? Pretty simple, right? So points could be worth a whole lot of money if the artist is successful. And this is the reason why people negotiate for points, especially when they believe in the artist and it's a big artist or a big project that they're working on. Now, every project isn't going to go diamond, but you get the point, right? A point could be worth a lot of money. Now, for you as independent artists, it's your job to allocate points according to the work ethic that your team is putting forth, right? So if you cannot pay people physical cash, which is the case for most independent artists, then you have other options, right? You can negotiate points, which this whole video here, guys, this whole video is about, right? I did about 2 or 3 of them. So go back, watch those videos if you don't know what points are. It's very important to your career to know what points are, all right? But if you don't have cash, how can you negotiate with the people around you? Negotiate with points. Negotiate with ownership, which comes in 2 forms. Form number 1 will be masters, right? And form number 2 would be publishing, right? Publishing. You can also technically do the writer side, right? The writer share, which is not necessarily publishing. It's paid out differently. So maybe there's 4 different things that you can negotiate here. Obviously, you can also negotiate, merchandise and other things of that nature. But if you're just talking about the music itself, those are 4 things that you can negotiate, right? Points in the master, for some watching this, you may feel like that's the same thing. Because if you have the master, every time the master sells, the points, should be attached to that deal. But points don't have to live in perpetuity. Like, you can give a person points off of this particular release, off of this particular project for a certain particular time, a certain time frame. Whereas if you're negotiating the master, they're going to have ownership in that master for an extended period of time. Additionally, you can negotiate ownership in the master and not necessarily pay out points against that ownership, which gets a little funny, right? But there are some detailed things that you can particularly do in this area. Points is a big thing to negotiate. So when you're looking at your project as an independent artist, think about how you want to break out points as a potential incentive to get other people invested in your project. And these people may not just be your team. It could be DJs that you want to play your record. It could be, booking agents that you want to help, work your record. It could be PRs that you want to help, that you want to help you work your record, right? It could be all sorts of different people. It could be a radio plugger, right? When you're trying to figure out ways to pay people, it pays to be creative, all right? Now this is going to go over a lot of people's head, but goddamn, I just gave y'all some game. That's, if you use that correctly in the right context, yeah. Because I made some major plays with just that bit of insight right there alone. So I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little and a little bit about a lot. And I'm always trying to give you guys everything that I got right here on Phase 6. Check me out, guys. Come to the website. Become a member. You know what I'm saying? Become a member of the website. Like and subscribe to the channel. I'm giving out dope game all the time. We have a whole lot of online products that are helping people win. I get phone calls, text messages and Instagram messages, things of that nature. And when I call people for Chasing Greatness, I get a lot of feedback from people telling me that this stuff is dope and is working for them. So, let me work for you. Let me help you. Let me help you win. There are no edits on this. Gosh, I missed doing the podcast. But if you haven't checked out the podcast, it's called Chasing Greatness. You can call in 404-442-4792 and we can talk. Me and you, I'll be in this room on the phone with you, recording it for the podcast for everyone else to hear. We can talk about whatever you're going through. Again, that's 404-442-4792. That's all I got for you guys today. So beam in. I hope I helped you out, my guy. What was that, Jonathan I? Yeah, Jonathan, I hope that helped you out. Take care.